So I'm going to talk today about the school system and some of the problems. A lot of these are personal problems that I've experienced. Now I'm a failure, a school failure. I got 195 points in the Leaving Cert. I did very badly, and I think it wasn't all my fault. At least you have to put some of the blame on the education system. Um, and there's different reasons for this. So one size fits all. Me left behind. Yep, that's number one. They kind of go by the average. Do you know what I mean? If you're above average, then you're not challenged. You're bored. You're unmotivated. If you're below average, like I was, then it's too hard. You can't keep up. Do you know what I mean? It's like if you're a 20-minute 5K runner, you're trying to train with 15-minute 5K runners. That's not going to work. You have to train like a 20-minute 5K runner to get faster, to get to that higher standard. Do you know what I mean? And they always say, oh, if you're being left behind, if you're behind, if other guys are ahead of you, you catch up by working harder. But no, I think it's the other way around. You can't do the same workload. You're at a lower level. You need to do less, and that might sound a bit stupid, but right now I've really cut down my workload. I'm trying to improve myself intellectually, and I'm starting to make progress just by doing half an hour a day. Just for reading half an hour most days. Today I decided to read for 25 minutes and make this video. So hopefully I'll bring me up to 30 minutes. So yeah, I'm not doing a lot of work, am I now? And I'm making massive progress. All my years in school I didn't make any progress because I was worked too hard. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, overstudy. Like in my school they said, oh, if you're doing the Leaving Cert, you need to study for 6 to 7 hours a day. That's crazy. The amount of progress I'm making just by studying for half an hour a day is, and when I was in the fifth year and towards the end of my time in third year, I used to study for 5 hours a day. On days that I wasn't in school, my head was wrecked. I was just pushing myself through a pain barrier. I didn't improve. If anything, I think I got worse. I think I lowered my IQ. I did poorly and I gave up, thinking, oh, I can't do it. I don't have the mental toughness to do this. And I always thought I was a bit of a wimp. Do you know what I mean? Now I realize, no, I was just doing too much. Do you know what I mean? You need to stop telling kids to do so much work because it's just barbaric. It's barbaric. Do you know what I mean? You don't need to do that much work. If you do that much work, you're actually going to do badly. You're going to cause brain damage and decrease your IQ. So you don't want to do that. All right? You need to do work in smaller doses. And I believe there should be more time spent outside, doing activities, just having fun. And yeah, of course, I do believe some time should be spent reading and writing and stuff like that, but not all day, So yeah, and they tell you everybody should go to university. When I went to school, secondary school, when I was in fifth and sixth year, it was all about what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? What college course are you gonna do? If you do anything other than go to university, you're seen as a failure. Do you know what I mean? People say, oh, your life is over. People are so brainwashed. I was reading about Rob Kearney's autobiography, and he was shitting himself because he didn't get the course he wanted to do in Trinity College. And even my brother, who's a lot older than me, said, oh, if you fail the Leaving Cert, it doesn't mean your life is over. You can always repeat. So, oh, if you fail the Leaving Cert, you don't go to university, your life is over. Oh, okay. I did shit in the Leaving Cert. That was 6 years ago, and I'm still breathing. My life isn't over, hasn't ended yet. The heart is still pumping blood through my body and keeping me alive, in case you haven't noticed. Okay? So, yeah, not everybody should go to university. I will never return to education. It's just too much work. Too much sitting there listening to teachers shite on for hours, falling asleep. That's the stupid thing. It's very ineffective use of your time. You sit there, listen to a teacher, bored, shitless, falling asleep, and then you don't do anything, and then you go home and, oh, you've all this homework to do. You're working for hours and hours when you get home. It's just stupid. And you have to remember the school system was designed in the 19th century to prepare kids for factory work. And yeah, the world's changed a little bit since then. I mean, yes, some people work in factories, don't get me wrong, but it's not as common. Do you know what I mean? So, you really, there's so many different careers you can do now. There's no point trying to train a student to be suited to one particular industry when there's so many different things you can do. So, yeah, really, we need to try a different approach, and I don't know, it's kind of hard. So yeah, I hated school. I always believed that I was stupid because I did poorly at school. I wasn't stupid. I was just uneducated. They did a poor job at educating me. I know better now, and I'm doing things myself. small doses of work every day, and I'm improving myself massively. Okay, that's the thing. One guy said to me one time, treat your studies like you treat your running, and I was like, but sure, I spent only like an hour and a half a day running. Why would I spend that little time studying? If you want to do well studying, you have to spend like fucking 6, 7 hours a day studying. But now I realize, no, that doesn't, for me at least, that doesn't work. I'm sure some people can study 6 hours a day. I'll never be able to do that. So yeah, smaller doses. Listen to your brain, listen to your body, and yeah, don't be a slave to this barbaric workload.